Greetings, stranger.
Hello, I'm Father Arno Moriani.
I am Luana, the gypsy. Tell me, priest, do you want to know the future?
I'd prefer to ask you about the past and the present.
Yes. She did not choose an easy path. From behind the high grass, the wolf observes the flock and carries off the weak and isolated.
As usual, the Oracle speaks in obscure, mysterious terms.
That is because it does not want to lie, nor provoke the anger of the powerful. You are an outsider like me. Beware of the people of this village. Hey, priest, do you want to play?
Yes, on the condition that we don't wager money.
You want to play for nothing? That's not my custom, but I am curious to see how you manage. Examine the dice carefully before you play. Each one, in turn, must choose a different die and throw it using a horn. The two dice are discovered at the same time. The higher number wins. Do you want to begin? You lose. You win. You win. You lose. You lose.
I've played enough. I have to concentrate on my mission now. According to what Janos told me, the crossroads of the Broken Oak ought to be here. I have to keep going straight to get up to the castle. Hello, Janos.
Welcome to the Castle of Twilight. These ruins are impressive, aren't they? Imagine this edifice before the war, when the erect ramparts had been standing for centuries. The Dragoman family, which reigned over Transylvania in the heroic age, lived here. Its most famous member was Vlad Tepes, hero of the war against the Turks. A magnificent sovereign, and a passionate subject to study. I think he's the greatest prince Transylvania ever had. No, the building is much older, but Vlad Tepes enlarged it by adding the outer walls. It was lived in until 1900, when the last owner died without any heirs.
B.M. That's the abbreviation of an epitaph. Most likely, Bonae Memoriae.
I think this inscription was carved to mock those who were lying under the stones of the walls.
Skeletons. Exposed during the destruction of the ramparts.
They were convicts who died of exhaustion while digging the foundation of the castle. They were buried where they fell, probably so their ghosts would guard the place. This sundial adorned the entrance to the castle. A bullet shattered it, and a piece is still missing. I searched the whole area without finding it. That's especially annoying.
This tree is a Sorbus acuparia, commonly known as the mountain ash or the rowan tree.
These ruins are impressive, aren't they? Imagine this edifice before the...
I can't borrow this without permission.
A lovely girl. But she's got a way about her, if you see what I mean. You can tell right off she's not from around here. Always hanging around outside, if that ain't a shame. Of course, he's got no more parents. Lives with his uncle, who barely takes care of him. What I think is she killed herself with work. And anyway, she never ate anything. I always knew her thin as a rail even before the war. When you work a lot without eating, then obviously you're gonna... She's back. The swindler. With her cards and her dice. She's cheated many a man. What a scandal. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Oh, Father, please don't say that. People might think us folks in Vladiviste ain't very proper. Yeah, they're beautiful, that's for sure. But my late husband said they were just copies, not very valuable. Did you like that? Me? I never go up there. Anyway, with my legs, it ain't possible anymore. Sure you can. I don't know where it comes from. Some vagabond brought it to me. I gave him a meal in exchange for it. My way of being charitable, I guess.
Number, please. Please hold.
This is Cardinal Felicio Briganti.
This is Father Arno Moriani,
How is your investigation going?
a journalist friend of Martha Kelugaro, has a strange story to tell. He maintains she was assassinated by a dark power.
What? And what do the police think?
According to them, the reporter is a pathological liar, and Martha wasn't right in the head. As for me, I'm coming to more or less the same conclusions. I have proof that Martha believed in vampires and kept them away with the sacred host.
How could that be? The file seemed so serious. What a disappointment. And as for those vampire stories, tell me, was the parish priest aware of this?
Yes.
And he did nothing? Said nothing?
Well, that is...
Don't tell me he took part in these magical rites.
In fact, yes.
Good heavens! And was he paid for that?
I have no reason to think so. He seemed entirely disinterested and sincere to me. And he's very sick.
Oh, rest assured that I don't want to incriminate him personally, but we have to react at once, or people will say the Catholic Church encourages superstition. Stay near your phone, please, Arno. I'll make 2 calls and get right back to you.
This is Father Arno Moriani.
Arno, I've informed the Diocese of Albayula. They're stunned and say it's a setup. Are you sure about what you're putting forth?
The testimony of Father Gregorius seems conclusive to me.
How could a priest encourage practices of the sort? That's the crux of the matter. I spoke about it upstairs and learned to my consternation that we're not dealing with an isolated instance here. Believe it or not, this is the 20th century and there's a fresh outbreak of belief in vampires. It's probably connected to the success of certain novels that have troubled impressionable minds. And so, I have new instructions for you.
I suppose that I close the Caligaro file then?
Certainly. And you open another one on vampires.
Excuse me?
You heard me right. Study the legend. Demolish it. Prove that it is not based on reality. We'll give your report widespread distribution.
Yes, but hasn't the Church already taken a position on the question?
To be sure. Benedict XIV formally condemned belief in vampires, but that was 2 centuries ago. It's time to bring his message up to date.
What exactly am I to do?
Seek the origins of the myth, but also pay attention to its literary aspects, its recent manifestations. Show that those phenomena that terrorize the naive are either pure fabrication or have explanations that aren't supernatural. Let me insist on one point, Arno. For your research, it's important that you consult the best scientific experts. We need the authority of a doctor and a historian to support your conclusions.
Do you think that a rational discourse can vanquish superstition?
I know the battle is never definitively won, but it must be fought. I hope the task doesn't seem too daunting for you.
Not at all. You're entrusting me with an unexpected job, but a very interesting one. I'll get at it without delay.
I'm counting on you. No, it's better that I contact them if need be. The Diocese of Albayula let it be known that the canonization of a local native would enable the Catholics, who are in minority in Transylvania, to reaffirm their identity with regard to the Orthodox. This can be very important in a nation under construction. That's why the process began so quickly. It would seem self-evident, but the diocese might object. I'd rather not run the risk, unless circumstances force you to. If you had to celebrate a funeral mass, for example. Your mission is delicate, Arno. It's difficult to accomplish without offending someone, but I have faith in you. You'll know how to act suitably.
Goodbye, Your Eminence.
Be well, Arno.
It just so happens that my congregation has ordered me to undertake an inquiry on the vampires.
Inquire? We have to fight!
Suppose they exist. If that's the case, isn't it essential to study them first? Know thy enemy.
Ours is wily and difficult to get at, unless we take the path of the dragon. That was Martha's conviction.
The path of the dragon?
The dragon. The vampire. Dracula. All these names designate our adversary. The path of the dragon leads to his lair. Look at this file that Martha entrusted me with on her return from Turkey. She had established that the path comprised 7 trials. The related documents are sorted in 7 folders.
I know that work. It's Raphael's Crucifixion.
Yes, photographed by Martha. According to her, this painting has a connection with the first stage on the Path of the Dragon.
Really? The painting has a hidden meaning?
Martha thought so. She spoke to me of other versions of the same work of art, slightly modified reproductions she examined in private collections. According to her, to understand the hidden message, the original's not enough. It has to be compared to the copies and the variations noted.
Do you have other versions of the painting?
Unfortunately not. Martha gave me this file at the beginning of her research, for she feared her papers would be stolen. Afterwards, we had a falling out, and she didn't transmit anything else to me. I'm certainly lacking some essential pieces.
We're radically changing style, you could say.
This other document is a sketch Martha made of an ancient bas-relief.
The inscription is hard to make out. It vaguely resembles Enochian.
But the drawing is clear. The figure is slashing his veins.
I see the sketch is classified in the first folder with the crucifixion. Is there a connection then between these 2 documents and the first stage of the path?
For Martha, there was no doubt about it. Here's a sketch of another bas-relief, from the same place as the previous one. Martha associated it with the second trial.
There aren't any other documents? Nothing for the 5 last tests?
They're all I have, but I'm sure that Martha found many others, if I'd only been more conciliatory. Father, we have to follow the path of the dragon. Let's go to Turkey. Since Martha went there, together we'll succeed.
I don't think that my superiors would appreciate that initiative. However, I promise that I'll think about it.
Unfortunately, those I know aren't accessible. But I really do need help to assemble the documents about the path. One day, I found her in a state of shock. She wouldn't tell me anything, but I understood that she had been threatened. I told her she was taking too many risks. She wasn't listening to me. So I got angry. She answered that she'd do without my help, and she never spoke to me again about the path. It was stupid of me. If I'd backed her up all the way, she might still be alive. Today, it's my duty to finish what she began. Alone, if you won't help me. Martha said it was the only way to discover objects and symbols related to each trial. She added that without that knowledge, it was impossible to attain the end of the path. She haunted public and private libraries. I know that she frequently visited the Alba Iula Museum. It burned shortly after her death. I have a feeling it wasn't by accident. I went to give blood at the request of Dr. Maria Florescu.
You didn't try to recover any documents?
What's the point in harassing young Maria? I'm sure there's nothing left of Martha's archives. Our enemy has had plenty of time to destroy them.
Dr. Florescu came by. She asked for you to go to the dispensary because she needs blood donors, if you're so inclined.
Fine, I'll go there.
Those ain't legends, Father. Begging your pardon, but you shouldn't talk about those things. It brings bad luck. Tell me, Father, do you think Martha will be sanctified?
Do you mean canonized?
Yeah, that's it. I hope she'll be canonized. A saint and a pilgrimage. That's what Vladivista is missing. That'd sure make people come, you know.
I haven't the heart to tell him the truth.
Come in! It's open!
The treatment room. Nothing for me there right now.
Thank you for stopping by. I noticed that my blood stocks were really insufficient. Would you let me take a sample of yours?
Certainly. I was a priest medic during the war. I saw many lives saved thanks to transfusions.
Oh, so you're a nurse as well. Then you'll be able to do it yourself. Great. I have to rush off to see a patient on the other side of the village.
Oh, what exactly do I have to do?
Draw your blood and place the bottle in the refrigerated chest. The combination is easy to remember. The date the dispensary was built. They're coming to get me. I have to go. Could you mark your blood type in the analysis reports? And also determine the types of the last 3 donors? I didn't have time to run the tests. Oh yes, and if the phone rings, please answer. See you later.
All right, down to work. I hope I haven't lost the touch. Surgery during the Great War, with an appendix on the Albert Houston method and Dr. Jean Brau's research. Statistical demonstration on the utility of asepsis in the operating room. To think that 30 years ago, surgeons operated without even washing their hands. Exercitatio anatomica de mortu cordis et sanguinis in animalibus, a reprint of the famous book by William Harvey, who discovered in 1629 the circulation of blood. Treatise on Statistics, Theory and Practice. Excerpt from the Medical Chronicles of the Bucharest Royal Academy. The Descent of Man by Charles Darwin. Spontaneous Generation, The End of a Myth. That's a look back at Pasteur's revolution.